Hello everybody and welcome to our program. Actually, it's fun to be with you, and what I want to say about our program is that we're not here to teach you something. Actually, we're here to open a window for you so that you get to learn something, get some motivation to learn the language. So we cannot do everything here. It's so much on your shoulder. So you've got a lot of sources, to get knowledge from, and we're here only to give you this opportunity. We're just one source for you to learn something. So I hope that you get some good knowledge watching us and also get some motivation, because it's very interesting to learn a new language. And there's so much, for you to do, and there are so much for you to learn. And when you learn a lot, you know how to live better, I guess. So let me first welcome my guest, Ms. Heba. Hello, Ms. Heba, and welcome to the program.
Hi, yes, how are you?
I hope that what I just said made sense to you.
Motivation, of course, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I don't think that we can teach everything. So we're not here to teach. We're here to motivate, to provide some information,
yes,
because knowledge is limitless.
Exactly.
Right? So what are you going to do today?
Actually, because we have some comments that some people need to revise something related to their curriculum that they take at school, we decided to give them a kind of review on the tenses of the grammar. Okay, so
I don't care much about school, so this will be for people who are interested to learn about grammar.
Yes.
Or to further their knowledge about their grammar, or to enhance their skills, whatever. So, yeah.
Okay, so today we will review the tenses.
The tenses.
The verb tenses of English.
Yeah.
Okay, in case for students or for people to know. So at the end we will have the same result, that we give them this knowledge.
Yeah.
So
is that why you're a bit tense today?
No, tense.
Yeah.
Yeah, tense. I'm the present tense.
Yeah.
So
let me just point out something here. What we mean by tenses, because sometimes when we talk, sometimes we refer to things that happened in the past. We could be referring to things that are happening now, to things that will happen in the future. So in order to express that, we need tenses. And tenses, they have structures. And to follow these structures means to use these tenses. So the idea here is to know how to use the structure of each tense, and when to use it.
To express the time that you want to
Sometimes the tenses get mixed up. So you may talk, for example, about something happening in a far past, before something else happened. Or to talk about something that was going on when something happened. The idea is the same when we're talking about the present or when we're talking about the future. So to know this, we have to know the rules.
Of course. The rules and the structure and the form, a lot of things you have to know.
What about the people who say that grammar is not important?
No. I said no. Of course, because if you don't know grammar, you could be misunderstood.
Yeah.
A lot of misunderstanding can happen by not, for example, expressing something that happened in the past, you express it in the present, or express it in the future. So, of course, a lot of misunderstanding will happen.
Yeah.
So we need to know at least the main tenses, not specifically the most complicated tenses, but the main tenses, which are the present, the past, the future. We have to know them, in case some people will misunderstand us.
So we're going to go over all the tenses on this episode.
Main tenses, yes.
Yeah, let's
in the main tenses.
Start.
Okay, as usual, we start with a simple present tense.
I don't know why, but okay.
If we go consequently, we can start by the future, then the present, then the past, or past, present, future, but always we start with the present tense. Maybe because we are in the present now. So,
how many present tenses are there?
Actually, we have a lot. We have the present simple, we have the present progressive, we have the present perfect, we have the present perfect progressive, so we have about 4
Yeah.
main present tenses.
So we need to know when to use each tense
Yes,
and how to use it.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The simple present is very simple from its name when we are referring to something as a habit or a fact. For example, when you are talking about something that you used to do every day, you have to use the present simple because you can't say in the past. For example, if I say every day I go to my work or every morning I drink my coffee, so I have to use the present simple to give the meaning that it is a routine or a habit that you do periodically or daily or from time to time. So this is the main usage of the present simple.
Yeah, all right. So actually there are so many different uses
Yeah.
for the present simple.
The first usage is habits or routine or something repeated. Then there's another usage which is when you are talking about facts or about unchanging truth. Like when we are talking, for example, about the natural phenomena, like the rise of the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, the sun rises in the east.
Also
as we
to
said.
talk about your feelings.
Yes.
I love, I like, you know.
Exactly. Some verbs, you have to talk about them in the present tense because they are not changing.
Yeah.
So they are fact about you. So we can say that the present simple tense or the simple present tense both are okay. They could be used for the facts about the future, the nature, or facts that are personal about someone. For example, if I say I like pasta or I like pizza, it's a fact about me, a personal fact.
The present simple can also be used to talk about the future.
Exactly. Especially with the timetables. For example, if I'm taking the bus, so I have the schedule of the bus. Any schedule or timetable is related to the present simple. Like it leaves at so-and-so, it arrives at so-and-so, so it's kind of related to timetables.
Yeah, and also it's a language of the media. For example, when you say the president visits whatever country tomorrow.
The media describing a match.
All right, so we can use the present simple to talk about something that happens in general, to talk about facts, to talk about routines, to talk about our feelings, to talk about the future, and also to talk about the past.
Kind of past. Don't confuse them.
No, I'm not confusing them, but
No,
I mean when you read the story,
no,
don't you read it in the present sometimes, although the events happened already?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have to know this. And as you said in the beginning of the episode, that we have to know the structures and the usages. This is why we are studying grammar, to know. But it will be okay if you talk in the past, if you are telling a story. It won't be wrong. But sometimes we use in the present.
Yeah.
As if describing a movie or describing a match, football match or something like this.
Yeah, all right. I guess if we just focus on the usages of each tense today, this will be better than also giving a lot of time talking about how the tenses are structured, because this will take a lot of time.
And we have done this before also.
Yeah, and I guess everybody is familiar with the structure of these tenses, but they need to know more about the usage. In French, for example, en français, they use the present to talk about something happening now.
Yeah.
I guess this doesn't happen in English.
No.
You just you need to use a different tense here.
Yes, which is the present progressive, or as some people call it, present continuous.
Yeah.
And it represents, actually, I don't know why they call it present continuous, because it is temporary. It is totally temporary, مؤقت. So it is a temporary tense.
Going on right now, perhaps.
And it's gonna finish soon.
I want to tell you something, and I want everybody to know something. Languages do not follow logic all the time. So you'll be surprised by a lot of things when studying any kind of language. All right, so do not think of any language as purely logically.
No, it's not logical.
Yeah.
It's not logical.
Because we're talking about the present continuous.
Yes.
And we say that mainly we use it to talk about things happening now, but we learn later that we can use it to talk about the future.
Exactly.
All right, so where is the logic here?
Exactly. There is no logic, but this is a standard grammar that some people made before in in Britain or in the linguistic people, so we have to follow them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people don't follow them and they are understood well, no problem. A lot of Americans don't use it and they are still understood in the slang. But we have to know the standard grammar just for our knowledge, to base our information about the language. So, as you said, we have then the present continuous or the present progressive. We use it if we are talking about a temporary action, like happening now, or these days, or this period of time, but it's gonna finish sooner or later.
So it doesn't have to be going on right now?
No, not necessarily. For example, it can say, these days I'm reading a book. Now I'm with you, I'm not reading anything, but these days I'm reading the book. So I could be reading it at home, reading it before I sleep. So it's an action.
And by the way, we don't necessarily have to use time reference or what they call keywords to indicate the time. For example, if I am here now with you, I'm telling you I'm reading a book about psychology.
So
I'm reading
understand.
about. I don't have to say that, you know, when I go home. No, it means what? It doesn't. Yeah, I'm not reading it right now, but I'm reading it around this time. So we can say, in short, that we use the present continuous to talk, or the present progressive, or the progressive tense to talk about things happening now or around now.
Exactly.
This is a very precise,
exactly.
I guess.
But to comment on what you have said, some tenses we have to use the keywords. Otherwise, there will be some misunderstanding.
As I told you before, I don't like stressing much on keywords because if I ask anybody the word, for example, always, often, usually, what kind of tense are they used for?
Sometimes present simple.
Sometimes. You can use them for the future. You can use them in the past. You know. So why are they?
Not all the tenses have to use the keywords, but some of them have, because this will make kind of misunderstanding. For example, the past perfect, which we will come to later, you have to use a keyword because, or something that indicates the sequence of events. Otherwise, you will not use it. So, what have we stopped on? The present
continuous.
Continuous. Okay. What do you want to discuss later?
Yeah, we said that we use the present continuous or the present progressive.
Exactly.
To talk about things happening now
or around
now.
Okay.
Or
the future.
The future.
Yeah, for example, and the future, if you are planning for something or you have planned for something, for example, after I finish here, I am visiting my aunt. So I have planned from the early morning that it is in my schedule that I'm visiting my aunt. So it is kind of using the future.
I'm going to Hurghada tomorrow.
Exactly.
For example, or I'm traveling to Canada next week.
Exactly.
All right.
So
here we're using, but you know, I want to add something here, that we use the present continuous to talk about a future event when we are sure, like, you know, we've
planned everything.
Planned for everything, and we're just waiting for the time to come so that we can do this.
Exactly.
All right. So when I say I'm doing something, it means like I'm having a party tomorrow.
Of course, you have prepared for the party.
I have already prepared for everything. All right.
Exactly.
It's like the same in Arabic, you know. I'm having a party tomorrow. في العربي مش بنقول أنا عامل حفلة بكرة، نقول أنا هعمل حفلة بكرة، بنقول إيه؟ أنا عامل حفلة بكرة. أنا عامل هنا بمعنى إن أنا عاملين حفلة بكرة. It means what? It means we've planned for everything.
Yes, exactly. So, the past. Should we come to the past now? I love this.
No. There's something to add about the present continuous.
You love the present continuous.
I don't love it. Well, actually, but I have, you know, we have to love the present in general. We have to live for the moment, you know. You never know about the future, and the past is gone. So it's what we should be caring about more than anything else. So anyway, for example, I could like scold you, or not just scold you. I could like blame you for something, or tell you, for example, you're always coming late. All right.
Yeah, you have used always here in the present continuous, not the present simple.
Yeah.
I see your point. Yes, we use always in the present continuous when we are.
I'm not talking about the word itself. I'm talking about the fact that we're using the present continuous for a particular situation.
Exactly.
All right. Which is what? which is when I'm angry with you about something,
Yes.
all right,
Blame.
I don't say, for example, you always come late. No, you're always coming late. Here I show my dissatisfaction about something that you do, all right, using the present continuous, and no other tense will do the same.
Exactly. So we have to know the differences, because every tense has different or particular usages, as you said now.
So let's add this for anybody who didn't know this before, that we can use the present continuous to express our dissatisfaction about somebody doing something continually.
Exactly.
All right? Like, for example, you're always talking on the phone. When you can say this to your daughter, for example.
Yeah.
You're always talking on the phone. All right? Maybe she's not talking right now, by the way.
Yeah, it's a habit for her.
No,
Or
not a habit, but
annoying.
it's something that annoying you.
Exactly,
All right?
annoying.
Something that is annoying you.
And
So
it
you
will
say,
always come as negative.
yeah.
You can say, you are always buying me flowers. Of course you can say this.
Yeah.
It comes in a negative form.
Yeah,
or
to
negative
show
sense.
your dissatisfaction about something, doing something
Annoying.
continually, or yeah.
Yes.
All right, so let's now move to another tense.
What tense would you like?
But before we do that, let's take this break and we'll be back. So we're back, and on this episode, as you've been following us, we've been discussing the different tenses and the usage of different tenses. I'm actually in favor of just focusing on the usage here on this episode. Maybe we can also do another episode to continue what we're doing on this episode with Ms. Heba. Ms. Heba, I guess we have to forget a lot about our grammar when we learn another language grammar.
Yeah, because if you compare a lot between your language and the other languages, you will get confused. Because our usage is so different from their usages. For example, in Arabic, you have one form for the past.
Yeah.
But in English, you have about 3 forms. So, yes, we have to forget a lot. In English, actually, for the past, they have 3 kinds, like past simple, the past progressive, and the past perfect. So, a lot about
As
the
I
past.
told you, it's not, I mean, when you think of a language, you should not think that this language will give you always logical answers.
Exactly.
For example, don't we sometimes use the past in English and in Arabic to express the future? For example, if I told you لو لقيتيه هناك قولي له كذا مثلا لو لقيتيه صح؟ لقيتيه. What is لقيت?
If you found him.
Yeah.
And this expresses
Isn't it a word
Yeah,
that is originally
there is
past?
a structure which
is this logical?
expresses that it's impossible.
Is this logical?
It's not logical because
this is why we should not think logically about
because
everything.
the language is not a mold, a molded something that is solid. No, the language, we consider it moving and progressing and growing. It's a kind of a living thing.
Yeah.
So it always has this illogical thing, or it's progress a lot.
Yeah, but as I said, we should separate, you know, between the grammar of one language and the grammar of another language, because the uses, as you said, are different.
Yeah.
And not everything goes the same way as the other language.
Of course, there's a lot of differences.
Yeah. All right, let's move to another tense now.
Well, we said that we have the past, okay, so we have the simple past, and of course it's very simple because it expresses something that happened and finished. Like when I say yesterday, I bought a car or I bought a dress. So it's something that has finished, totally finished.
Yeah.
So there's no traces now in the present, or I just bought it and paid for it and I have it in my closet now. So it is kind of an action that has finished. So this is a past simple. Something happened.
All right.
And
Let me
finished.
add something here.
Yes.
All right. So as you just said, we use the past tense to talk about something that happened in the past and is over now.
Exactly.
Something that is over now.
Yeah.
All right. But we can also use it to talk about something that happened in the past, like a series of things, or different things that happened in the past, one after the other.
Successfully, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
What?
so for example, if I'm narrating a story
Yeah.
or telling you about something that I did yesterday or this morning, I may use here the past tense to talk about something that happened, and then the next, and then the next, and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. So this is something. So, but generally, we use the past to talk about something that happened in the past and is over now.
Exactly.
Although, as I just said a little while ago, some words may look past, but they can be used for the future. All right, like for example, I'll take my umbrella in case it rained.
Yeah.
In case it rained, not in case it will rain.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
If I traveled somewhere, I will bring you like a souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
Past, right? Or I would bring you a souvenir. All right. So this is what I mean by that.
Yes, as we said, that it depends upon the culture of the country, of the language, and it depends upon also the usage itself. For
Yeah.
example, you use, for example, if I say, if I were you,
Yeah.
here I use were in the past, because this is impossible that I am you.
Yeah.
Or if I won $1 million,
Yeah.
it's something impossible in the time being.
Well,
So
this
yes,
is something
we use it.
actually known in other languages as a subjunctive.
Yes.
All right.
In the French.
Yeah, the subjunctive in different other languages, in French, in Italian, in Spanish, and, all right. But in English, the subjunctive is actually very easy.
Yeah, and
Very easy to
Yeah.
use. All right. So, for example, like when we say "if I were," yeah, we usually say "I was," but in some cases you have to say "if I were."
And if he were.
Yeah, and if
if
he were,
she were,
with
and
all
it were.
pronouns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
But generally speaking, we use the past to talk about finished
Spanish actions.
actions.
Yes.
All right. And the structure is very easy. We're not gonna talk about it today. All right. Words in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. With ed or whatever. No, this is not what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Let's move to another. Sometimes tenses are mixed up
Yeah.
with others. Like, for example, to talk about the we talked about the present progressive, the past. So let's talk about the past progressive or the past continuous.
And the past continuous or progressive is mixed with the past simple. Actually,
Yeah.
for example, it is used when you are interrupting.
Yeah.
When you are something that is was going on in the past and it was interrupted by another action, like while I was eating, for example, I heard a sound. Or while I was studying, I felt hungry. So it is kind of something that had a duration.
Or the light went out.
Yeah, exactly. You wish for. So it was something that was taking a duration or time.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
in the
something
past,
else
something
happened.
else interrupted. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to interrupt it, but when something else happened.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes some actions go together. Yeah, like I'm doing something or I was doing something while you were doing something else. So because there are short, you know, things and long things, like something that, like for example, now if I do this, so I dropped the pen. All right. So it didn't take time.
Yes.
But there are things that take time.
And you can also use it if you are talking about something you did for a lot of time in the past. Like yesterday, I was watching TV from 6 to 9. So it took duration.
Actually, we didn't finish everything we wanted to.
You can't, of course.
You can't, but we can continue the same topic on our next episode.
Sure.
So thank you very much, Ms. Hiba. And we'll be meeting you again, inshallah, next episode. And we'll continue talking about the tenses and how to use them. So until then, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.